Before we get going, I need to thank our sponsors, AkzoNobel, for helping the industry's most important conversations to take place. So thank you to them. Without further ado, let's get going. Welcome to the ICOMIA podcast, where we're supporting the marine industry's most important conversations. Hi everybody, welcome to the ICOMIA podcast, where the industry's most important conversations take place. A very big thank you to our sponsor, AkzoNobel, for helping these conversations happen. And today we're going to talk about TYHA. So I'm here with John. Nice to see you, John.
And you.
So give us a little introduction. What's your role? What do you do? And then describe TYHA and what it's all about.
So I run the Yacht Harbour Association, which is TYHA is an abbreviation of that. And we operate in 30 countries, actually, based in the UK. But we provide a whole host of benefits to our members, which includes we write technical documents, codes of practice on how to design, construct, operate marinas and boat yards. And we also accredit marinas as well. We have a number of accreditation programs, including Gold Anchor, Clean Marina, and a Super Yacht Ready program as well. The wonderful thing about doing the job that I do is that the marina industry is so sharing. Unlike any other industry I've worked for in my life. And so therefore we have the ability through our membership to reach out to the membership, and if we can't answer a question, our members will be able to answer the question for us or
Someone
help us write
somewhere,
this code.
so let's use it.
Exactly. Let's use that expertise.
And I want to really highlight the value in that recognition. These award programs like the Gold Anchor program. How do you make sure they are a really authentic, true stamp of approval, and I suppose an achievement, but also a formal recognition of the standard in a marina? What makes that so valuable and authentic?
Yeah, well, I think we work hard to. First of all, we partner with an organisation in Australia called the Marina Industries Association on Gold Anchor, and we continually review the program. In fact, we're going through a review at the moment with them to ensure that every one of the 89 criteria that we assess against is properly thought through,
right,
and is as objective as possible. Of course, there's subjectivity comes in when you're talking about the ambience of a marina. There's a level of subjectivity.
Yeah, and when it spreads to over 30 countries, you're thinking, well, there's going to be some different nuances for different regions.
Yeah, and we accredit super yacht marinas in the Middle East and the Adriatic, and in little inland waterway marinas in the UK.
Waterways in the UK, it's a completely different scene.
Completely different. However, when you unpick it all, the reality is it's scale.
Marina.
And it's scale and changing facilities according to the expectations of the customers. We do physical on-site assessments most of the time. So we'll do pre-work with the marina to make sure that they understand what the process is. And we work with them on their berth holder questionnaire, so we need feedback through their berth holders. Likewise, we have a mystery shop process as well that works, and we have a trained assessor that goes onto site to go through every one of the 89 criteria to check the marina against that criteria. We often compare ourselves with the hotel rating. But we're a bit different in that actually we see ourselves as a friendly, helpful, or the Gold Anchor process is friendly and helpful. So key things that come out of the assessment are a series of actions, so things that have to be done to get the accreditation,
Right, yeah.
And recommendations, things that you could do to improve.
So actually the spirit of it is we want all marinas to be at the real high end of this accreditation and well recognized, because that will as an industry, improve the standard of marinas,
Absolutely.
the safety, the whole experience of it, and
Absolutely.
and also with a really big picture, actually get more people into marinas, more people into boating, making more accessible and accommodating for everyone.
And you're absolutely right. So our job, almost our total job at TYHA, excuse me, is sharing best practice.
Yeah.
And we share that through our accreditation programs.
Yeah.
We also work very closely with the GMI, Global Marina Institute,
Okay.
that train marina staff. So through the intermediate marina manager courses, the advanced marina manager courses, then the certified marina manager, we work with that group of people, of experts, to ensure that our programs are
Because when you
well-founded.
explain that, you can see that it's on purpose. And right at the early stage, it's identified the improvements that can be made, and then it's also so here's a recommendation of how you achieve that, and then you can really guide them along. So ultimately,
And also
really
we'll
goes the right
we'll
direction.
connect them in. So once we've offered that recommendation, we may well connect them in with another marina manager that's already been through that journey. And because we have this amazing sharing industry, then they're very happy to help.
yeah, it's the experience. It's quite amazing how collaborative the industry is on some fronts, especially like this. Because I think what really unifies it is that actually our biggest competition is not each other, it's other leisure industries. In someone's spare time, especially normally, it's quite a wealthy individual that goes boating, so they have plenty of options of how they can spend their time. We are not against the other boats next to us or the marina down the coast. It's much more against luxury automotive, luxury travel, aviation, all these other leisure activities. Yeah, skiing, biking, whatever it might be.
No, it's
and then that really draws everyone together.
Well, we spend a lot of time, not only through TYHA, but also through the work with ICOMIA, which I'm sure we'll talk about in a moment, in understanding or doing our best to understand our future customer and adapt our offer, adapt the marina offer to suit the future demographic and understand what marina berthing may look like in the future and where boat ownership lies. Who's actually going to own these boats that are sitting in our marina, and how actually are they going to be used?
How does the marina operate as a result of that? Yeah,
absolutely. So and also you then got behind that, you've got all the issues about, well, actually how can we be as effective as possible as a marina? How can we be as smart as possible? What technology can we use to assist in our operations to ensure that we still give a very high quality, safe berthing experience, but likewise we use the data and technology as effectively as possible to service those customers and support marina businesses, support operations in a changing world, with all those competitors that you've already mentioned.
Yeah. So how does TYHA work with ICOMIA? How does that come together? What actually happens there?
Well, ICOMIA is the Worldwide Association of Associations, if you like, and so TYHA work with ICOMIA, and a lot of what we do is to do with sharing. So more specifically, TYHA members of the ICOMIA Marinas Group.
Okay. So this is a committee, what's the right word? A committee within ICOMIA.
It is a committee
specifically for leaders and key stakeholders in the marina sector of the industry, so that they can come together on a bit of a, let's say, neutral territory, where they can have these conversations and say, well, what have you learned from your marina operations, or we're seeing this demographic want these kind of facilities in there, and bring together that knowledge base and that network to share knowledge and ultimately have a better, a well-supported industry in the future and over the coming years.
Yeah, and it's definitely, that's a key part of it. But we also we work hard to help developing areas of the world in marinas and leisure boating.
So emerging markets.
So it's actually it's exactly, it's bringing on new markets. So we'll have members from all over the globe. And there'll be members from developed nations, be that America, Europe, but likewise we've got members from South America or some of the Asian nations and who need help, need advice on what to provide. Actually tell us more about this marina thing, and actually tell us, we understand sort of how they should look. And what buildings and that sort of should be there, but we don't really understand any of the cultural things about the boaters themselves, or
the real nuances of marina operations that actually in more established regions of the world, they've been operating marinas for 50 years, hundreds of years, and really seen and learned from that recreational side.
Exactly.
But for example, in the Far East, it's not really a big leisure activity to go recreational boating. So it's more new, as there's a lot of sharing there, and everybody else for doing that.
And you'll be aware that there's quite a lot happening in the Middle East at the moment, the UAE and now Saudi as well, and the Red Sea.
Lots of development,
of development going on, and lots of great, amazing companies involved in that, consultants from all around the world and what have you. But the ICOMIA Marina Group, can support that through. We have a Smart Marinas working group that is building a vision of what a smart marina looks like, and some of the building blocks to get there. As you appreciate, you can in most cases, marinas can't afford to do the whole thing at once. Well, they're not building a new marina, so it has to be building blocks.
I feel like it's guiding where the efforts go. Because if they're entering a new venture, it can be a big grand plan and wonderful, and they can chuck loads of resource at it. But ultimately, if it's not focused in the right areas and certain things are addressed, then it could be better spent or better utilized in different ways. And so this is a real source of information that can guide that.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's loads of nuances about different countries, different weather, different whether it's saltwater, freshwater, whether it's if you've got warm saltwater, very, very saline. What impact has that had on your pontoon infrastructure? So we connect marinas together and go, well, you should have a chat with him. He's had a few challenges, he's addressed them, but and
there's so many nuances, like the charter operation, shared ownership, boat clubs, multi-hulls rather than monohulls. Like it's all
as we discussed earlier on, boats that are now coming out which are monohulls and multi-hulls together. The whole bunch of and so what does that mean to marinas? What those new boats that Beneteau are now building, or there's demonstrations here on them. What does that mean in terms of berthing? In terms of their maneuverability or their beam, or so there's new things happening to our industry all the time, and we've got to remain quite and quite agile to deal with that. And we also, you mentioned, you touched on sort of leases and concessions, and so we get involved in that as well. So there's all sorts of European Union legislation on how concessions should be dealt with, and there's country variations on that. So we're currently looking at challenges in Croatia and different areas on how that manifests itself and what that actually means to the existing operators, and who of course would like to carry on and be awarded the next concession as well. And so we will deal on that sort of background level as well as the front of the
so a bit of the immediate impacts and immediate challenges, as well as kind of what's coming in 3-5 years time.
And we'll also be looking going forwards at floating lodges in marinas and all sorts of things.
Got any events that you're planning?
Yes, the ICOMIA just had a meeting this morning, which is was fascinated. I've just taken over the chairmanship of the ICOMIA Marinas Group, which is a really very pleased to have done that, and it's a great opportunity. There's some great people in there to work. We have the World Marina Conference coming up, 2025. So that's in Venice, October 15th to 17th this year, and it's taking shape. You'll be looking at the content of that today. You'll be looking at the organisational side of things. I mean, what a place. I was very lucky to go there last October and have a quick look at the size and everything like that. Yeah, it's going to be absolutely amazing. That combination of learning all about marinas and sharing in the culture.
Say, what is the content of the, or I should say, the key mission of the event? What things are really drawing people in? I don't want to be too kind of pushy on the advert for this, but what's the core reasons for players in the marina sector to come along and be a part of the event?
I mean, really, it's a combination of looking at of what big factors are affecting our industry. So some big picture stuff. Yeah. So some keynote speakers from around the world who are looking at the external influences on our market and painting a picture there. Yeah. We'll then be looking at operational issues as well, because of course that's key to us all. We things like, we're launching a new code of practice there, or a major revision of our code of practice, which we're working on with one of our members called Marina Projects, and it's that's a great opportunity, a sharing opportunity. We'll also be looking at things like Marina Accreditation Scheme. We spoke about that earlier on, and how that assists marinas. And the key thing, or one of the key things, is always networking. It's always that coming together in the breaks, having a cup of coffee, having a chat, and sharing the experiences and making new contacts.
Yeah, so it's a truly insightful. There's a network there, and then who's welcome to these events? Are marinas only? Are suppliers welcome? Who can actually call on?
Yeah, marinas and suppliers. So running alongside of it, we have a small, if you like, exhibition, right? Which a lot of those will be suppliers. Connecting in with the marinas, the marina operators, and providing solutions against some of the issues we've discussed. We'll have the pontoon manufacturers there, pedestals, and pump out systems and consultants, anyone involved in the marina industry
will be the place to be in October.
It's the place to be in October this year. Okay. And there's some I think the set in the backdrop of Venice, with this amazing,
that'd be great,
amazing boating culture and all that history. It's going to be amazing.
Okay, brilliant. And I suppose a further nod to what actually really goes into organising the event is that the bidding process for the 2027 event is now open. Can you just touch on how that works? And
it's I just said I'm new to my role, so but that'll open fairly shortly, and it'll be publicised through ICOMIA, the bidding process, and through the ICOMIA Marinas group. We look to appoint the next venue prior to the current one.
Right, prior to the end of the current one, so they can say, okay, next time we're looking forward to being hosted here.
Yeah, so it's a 2-year cycle, and that 2 years goes very quickly, so we like to appoint. So there's ICOMIA Congress in May, and we'll look to ultimately appoint by then, hopefully, or definitely before October.
Right, okay. Yeah. Okay, super. We'll look out for that. Thank you very much for your insights, John, and everything you do for the industry.
Absolute pleasure,
Everybody, if these conversations are helpful and insightful to you, make sure you're following. We'll see you in the next episode. Of course, thank you again to AkzoNobel for helping these conversations take place. All being well, I'll see you very soon. Bye for now.